You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
Hello, everybody. We're back on the air. You are listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. Oh, I've missed you guys. I have. It's been a long couple weeks. A lot to go over. First off, I want to do a little bit of why and where we've been lately. As you obviously could probably tell, we took a little bit of a hiatus. Part of it was for the holiday weekend of Easter. We wanted to treat the day as special. Sorry, I had a moment. I had to fix myself. So we took Easter weekend off. And we had a little bit of, behind the scenes, some changes behind the scenes taken care of. To start off with, that Aaron Priest is no longer going to be, or is no longer with us, unfortunately. It was nothing bad. It was nothing negative. It was just, kind of a mutual thing. He needed to take some time and get some stuff handled, and we wish him nothing but the best. So, I am here, going to keep being here from now until someone tells me to get off and go do something else. But in the meantime, I have found who I hope will be hanging out with me from here on out. Welcome, make him happy, everybody. My new buddy, or not my new buddy, I've known him for a while, Steven Airey. Steven, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks. Thanks so much. Well, hey. I mean, new buddy? Really?
It was an accident, I told you. I'm a little bit behind on the whole, being behind the mic is a period. It's a little bit daunting. I'm almost, it's like I heard today. It's like having, you know how to ride a bicycle, but if you don't do it for a while, that first couple minutes of being back on a bike, you kind of all wobbly and it looks horrible.
Feels like the first time?
Like the very first time. Buddy Mike Dowd would be very proud of us right now. Anyway. But folks, we have got an awesome show planned for you tonight, or today, or whenever you happen to be listening to us. Right now, we're going to get kicked to everything, get started. First article. First thing we're going to go over is from The Hill. Bill Nye, the not-so-quite science guy.
Bill Nye, progressive guy.
That's it. Has decided, apparently, and just as I'm going to pause for a second. It's something that I've noticed about Bill Nye. Is it just me, or did he just kind of come out of nowhere all of a sudden again?
Oh, no. He's been trying to attack the evangelical circuit for quite a while.
No, I know. I mean, but like, I'm talking about being back in the mainstream.
Oh, yeah, back in the mainstream.
Like,
for sure,
he went from being, hi, I'm just a douche behind closed doors to, ta-da, I'm open.
I'm super.
Thanks. Close.
For not asking.
Thanks for not asking. That's close to where it was. Anyway, that was an ADD moment right there. But it dawned on me. I was like, God, he came out of nowhere. But anyway, apparently, Mr. Bill Nye, the engineer guy, was on CNN a couple days ago, and he accused CNN of doing a disservice to its viewers by bringing on climate change skeptic to the network.
No. He accused them of a disservice for not also providing 99 other scientists
Because that's logical and completely doable.
Well, it's the whole 99%.
To give this thing context. So basically, Bill Nye, again, the engineer guy, was on a panel on CNN with two other people. One guy was a climate change quote unquote denier. One other lady was an activist of some kind, and then you had the two hosts, and then obviously Bill Nye. And what had ended up happening was they were sitting there, and apparently Bill, in his moment of taking over the whole show, as he always tends to do, became this thing where he was like, well, it's not fair that you have this one climate change denier, but you don't have the other 98 or 99 scientists, that make this all conclusive. Yeah. And his exact quote is, and I quote, "I will say, much as I love CNN, you're doing a disservice by having one climate change skeptic and not the 97 or 98 scientists or engineers." Sorry, that he had to say that to be able to give himself a little bit of justification for sitting there in the first place.
Got it himself.
Yeah. Anyway, scientists or engineers concerned about climate change, end quote. So I understand, I get vaguely what he was trying to do, which was people who have an opposite opinion should not be allowed to have a voice. Right. That was number one, what he was trying to say. The other thing, though, was how can you actually look at people and go, well, you're doing a disservice by not having 97 or 98 other people here to confirm what I'm saying. Let's just look at the logic for a second. What news source could get 98 or 99 people on there at one time?
I mean, that would be pretty hard to do, but I think he's going off of the whole climate change rhetoric, and the climate change rhetoric saying that, there's 99% of the scientists, or 98 or 90, whatever, there's a 98% consensus that climate change is real. And then this guy just comes on, he's not saying that he himself is a full climate change denier. He's just saying that greenhouse gases aren't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
And that whole deal is, it gets to the point to where if you don't believe exactly like he believes, you're a denier.
Yep, pretty much. It was Mr. William Happer, actually, was the physicist and climate change skeptic. That was the guy that Bill Nye was across from and apparently putting down.
Right.
And I watched it, and the clip was pretty good. I mean, Mr. Happer, he was logical, he was clear, and he's like, look, I'm not saying that this is not a complete impossibility, but, we can't sit here and dump thousands and millions of dollars into something that we're not 100% sure on. And of course, Bill Nye was like, oh no, let's just open the pit and dump the money in. And it was, I felt bad for Mr. Happer, actually, because he just sat there with a smile on his face and did his best to take it. And Bill Nye just treated him like a piece of crap. It was horrible.
Yeah, I mean, Happer really took it well. He can really take it well.
Bless his heart, man. It was rough. And I'm like, how are you? Oh. Another quote he threw out there was, if you suppress science, if you pretend that climate change isn't a real problem, you fall behind other countries that do invest in science, that do invest in basic research.
Can I substitute something real quick?
Go ahead.
If you suppress science, if you pretend that the flat earth isn't real, you will fall behind other countries.
Sure. Or we could use this as a springboard into the very next one. If you invest in science, don't invest in science, and you don't invest in the research that, gender is not fluid. Oh, wait, that's opposite what he said. We're leading this into, apparently Bill Nye is going to be the lead for this first segment entirely. He is first, he's a jerk to Mr. Happer on CNN, and then turns around and apparently has decided that he wanted to get into the entertainment field, and this goes beyond his science guy days. Apparently he's into music now.
Yeah,
he helped. I don't know if he had anything really to do with it, but apparently on his show on Netflix, he had a song that was called "My Sex Junk," which I have decided that I will spare you because
it really is the bane of existence.
Steve and I were talking a little bit ago, and it's the message and everything behind it is bad to begin with.
Pretty terrible.
It was horrible. Having said that, take all of that out, and the entire you would think they could put together a better show, a better song, better melody, someone who actually, I don't know, could sing it,
have rhythm,
something.
I
don't know. It was horrible.
Put a good beat to it.
Yeah. Apparently, the actress, there was her first mistake. Actress Rachel Bloom singing a song about transgenders, gays, sex, and how sexuality is a fluid concept. Mm-hmm. Now, here's my confusion. Just a little bit. If Bill Nye, who claims to be a science guy and is actually an engineer, which, I mean, arguably is a science, just
more mathematics.
It's more math than not actual science, like we know as chemistry or biology or anything like that. Mm-hmm. He can argue and say that the climate is changing, which I will agree with him to a point. The climate is changing. This afternoon, the climate was, cloudy and with a little bit of a breeze and 91 degrees. And right now, it's clear completely, no wind, and about 73 degrees.
Beautiful outside. Really.
It is. So the climate changed.
Yep.
I completely agree with him. The climate does change, and that's
where do we live?
I know. So, but I give him that. But so he can sit here and argue and go, oh well, you have to follow blindly. You can't oppose anybody who says that climate change isn't real. Otherwise, you're just an idiot. You're just an idiot.
Right.
But he can turn around and actually push this idea that sexuality is a spectrum. Is a spectrum. To quote a line, yes, a lyric from this god awful excuse for a song.
And everyone is on it.
Yeah, all this.
Even you.
Might
like it.
The it was so bad. It actually I'm give me a minute, because I'm having horrible flashbacks. I'm not 100% sure, and I don't ever want to be taking anything away, but I'm having a feeling of what Vietnam vets have when they have their flashbacks right now. That's what I'm having when I'm thinking about this video.
At least it was you saying it and not me.
I'm
full civilian. So
I do. I'm little Charlie's is everywhere. No. But just for the moment to move on a little bit, the video has actually sucked. That's the other thing.
It was
terrible. It is horrible. Not only was it not taken well, the YouTube video itself. Now, bear in mind, this video was actually taken as a clip from Bill Nye's TV show, which I didn't know he had a TV show again. God help us all.
On Netflix.
Netflix. I almost canceled.
Nah,
I did. I almost canceled
it has so many other good things, though.
All right, but they did the Amy Schumer special.
Yeah.
And now this.
Yeah.
We're starting to go downhill.
Yeah.
But no, the video has actually sucked. Like I said, just you watch it, and it was the message obviously was atrocious.
Right.
The performance of it was a horrific train wreck. And to make matters worse, the particular video that was posted on YouTube, the clip it from the show, as of last time we checked, had 1 million views, a little over 1 million views.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. No. It had 72,000 dislikes.
Right.
And 1,000 likes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and tons and tons of horrible comments and reply videos, and people really don't like it. Yeah. One of the viewers sat there and said, "I just want to move to the forest to become a monk. I can't take this degeneracy anymore." Oh, bless his heart. They even have a Reddit thread? Apparently.
Apparently. And it's Bill Nye saves the world. Purports to look at various problems through more scientific perspective, according to the International Movie Database, shown as a TV rating of 14. And if after that particular video, again, just listening to what she was saying, and I'm telling you that they got graphic. Now, granted, technically it was all biological, but it got graphic.
Pretty graphic.
I wouldn't let my 14-year-old kid watch that.
No.
I mean, nobody in their right mind.
With that woman dressed in what she was wearing.
Oh, no. I don't.
Oh, excuse me. That person.
How dare you?
Possibly a gender.
Yeah. Well, they're obviously a gender.
No,
they're obviously a gender.
No.
You just don't have the right to assume what their gender is.
No. Some people just say, I don't have a gender, or I'm alien. They say that now. That's right. Part of the gender fluid spectrum thing. It's not, you don't have a gender. You're
make me want to puke. What happened, man? I mean, I want to know seriously, who in their right mind thinks that Bill Nye's, voice means anything? Seriously.
Bill Nye, he's worth $6 million.
And?
That makes him popular. And he was everybody's science guy as a high school,
all that is they're just taking advantage. Yeah, they're just taking advantage of the fact that, let's use nostalgia as a way to
Bill Nye, progressive guy.
Why? Because it's fun. Dun dun dun.
He's literally just become a political hack.
I
mean, that's the best thing I can say about the guy now.
And that's not even a good thing to say. Oh, we're going to lament the death of our childhood and take a break, folks. We're so glad to be back. Thank you for listening to us. We are the Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. And welcome back, everybody. You were listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. I'm telling you, it is so good to be back behind this microphone. I've missed you guys so much. Or the three people that listen anyway. I've missed y'all.
Hugs and kisses.
Say that again. I had you muted. Sorry.
Oh, I said hugs and kisses.
Hugs and kisses to everyone. Yes. It's been a long couple weeks, man. I'm telling you, it's good. It's good to be back. It's back in the saddle again. I love it. Love it. Just in case, real fast, if anybody wants to get a hold of either Steven or myself, you can find us at the Defenders of American Exceptionalism page on Facebook, which is at Defenders of American Exceptionalism. You can find myself at The Real Dylan Lyles on Facebook. Also, Dylan Lyles on Twitter. Steven.
Oh, I'm Steven Airey on Facebook and Steven Airey on Twitter.
So
pretty simple.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Drop us a line. Tell us what you think, how everything's going. Just tell us about your mama, how she's doing. Everything's okay. We just want to make sure everybody's all right.
Yeah.
Has your family. Exactly. So we're going to move on into our next wonderful batch.
Speaking of family,
yes, this next. Oh, folks, this next segment is going to get a little deep, so just bear with us a little bit. The first story we're going to get to comes from The Hill. And again, all of these are going to be posted on our Facebook page and everything else later on if you want to fact check everything for yourselves, knowing that we're not just guys sitting here going, oh, no, this is what it says. No, by all means, do your own homework, and we will supply our sources for you.
And I mean, if we're wrong, tell us.
Even if we're right.
I'm good with that, too.
Yeah, you can tell us we're right. It's okay. Compliments are accepted. This is the first one's from The Hill. Guess who was recently elected to the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women?
Who?
You'll never guess.
No.
I'll give you 3 guesses.
All right.
I'll give you 3.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, who's already there?
Oh, I don't know.
Who's already there? I don't know. Who's already there?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Right,
but we would assume obviously the bigger people.
So let's say France. Was France it? Was it France?
Well, they weren't the one that was recently elected. So we're going to say no. So that's one down.
All right. England. They're pretty good about this stuff.
I would assume they're already in,
Yeah.
but they were not the ones that we're talking about now. So no, that's strike 2.
All right. Should I think somewhere smaller?
Smaller might be good.
Okay. All right. Smaller. How about Denmark?
Denmark. No, they're probably in there too, but no, they were not the ones selected. The country that we were looking for is Saudi Arabia.
Wait, what? Huh?
Yeah, Saudi Arabia.
Did they went to what?
They were elected to the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women.
Women.
Yes, as in they're there to basically protect and actually they're there to monitor and help maintain the challenges and help maintain and fix challenges reaching to gender equality and blah 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 for women.
Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
You're talking about women's rights.
Yes.
Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
You know, have you ever seen that picture of Saudi Arabia in like the 60s before the mullahs took over and everything was there?
Yes, where it looks slightly like,
America?
I don't know, Philadelphia?
Yeah. There's like, hey, look, everybody in the 60s, they look like people in the 60s in America. That's crazy. And then like the 70s hit and suddenly you don't see everybody. You don't see their faces.
Any of their faces. It was a little weird. And then women can't drive.
And now you have to...
Stonings.
And they can't walk out of their house without a man beside them.
Mm-hmm. So kind of like wiping before you poop. It don't make no sense. Actually, this guy, this Halil Newer, I believe is how you enunciate his name. And if I did that wrong, I apologize.
We're American.
I don't know. Yeah, you can't hold that against me.
He's also from the South. You really can't.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I have no idea what affiliation this guy has, but basically the analogy he used is electing Saudi Arabia to protect women's rights is like making an arsonist into the town's fire chief. It's true. When you have the oppression that Saudi Arabia has against women, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
the women can't go anywhere outside their house without a man.
Right.
They can't. A lot of them can't drive. Some of them can, but a lot of them can't drive. What is it? I think it's 2. It's like anywhere between 2 and 5. I can't. Forgive me for not having a number in front of me, but it's like 2 to 5 women to have the testimony of one man.
Yeah, you have to have multiple women to have the same testimony, like the same depth of testimony, like the same validity of testimony of one man.
And these guys are now part of the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women.
So these are also the same people that have the quote-unquote religious right, and by right I mean RITE, of the female mutilation of the lady parts.
Yeah, among other things. The whole stonings and beatings and all that wonderful stuff. I understand. We've gotten to this point, and this is not just in America, and this is in the whole world, and it's going to lead to a lot of pain and destruction. But we've decided to be inclusive. Even we've accepted actual
evil.
Yeah, fine. We'll take it. We'll might as well call a spade a spade. We're accepting things, and instead of pointing it out and saying that's wrong, we're going, oh well, it's happening over there. It's their culture. Who are we to say otherwise? Now, I'm not saying to interfere and change that, but you sure as hell don't make Saudi Arabia the part of the Women's Council for the UN. You don't do that. That's complete asinine.
Exactly. They have no place in representing anything as far as women's rights go until they go back to at least the 1960s.
At least. I mean, that's like literally that's like getting a guy that you know is a child sex offender,
right,
to babysit your kids.
Hey, you guy, pedophile. Yeah.
Creepy guy in a van with a clown costume and a pocket full of candy. You mind
down by the river?
Oh, yeah, really. Hey, I gotta go to the store real fast. Watch my kid for me. No, you can't do that. And I get where they're trying. Look, people have the best intentions. Oh, well, we need to give everybody a chance. You're right. Everybody gets chances, and you want to give everybody the best of intentions. But there comes a point where you have to use common sense, and unfortunately, common sense is like gone. No one is, well, it needs to be fair and we'll work on it later.
Dylan, remember, we live in a post-fact era. Common sense doesn't make sense because it's not common.
No, you're right. Here's my question. And it's a slight question, but it's a question anyway. Mm-hmm. So we live in a post-fact world.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So if we live in a post-fact world, then what does that make that statement?
Not a fact.
I would drop the mic right now, but that would make a lot of loud noises and people would... Yeah. That's a mic drop moment. I'm sorry. That's one of those, technically the robot should be going, does not compute, head explode. That's what should have happened just there. I'm not a robot. Oh, thank God for that one. I don't know, y'all. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't. And they put it, in the article, it puts it, Saudi Arabia, a top U.S. ally. They have to throw that in there in the commas, so that way, they're shining in a nice, decent light.
So let me put this in really good context. To put Saudi Arabia on the Women's Rights Council is like putting Alex Jones at the head of the CIA. You don't do it.
No, that's not a smart idea. Well, they're already also with the Human Rights Council for the UN, too. Saudi Arabia is. But, I mean...
So they're already at the human rights.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're in
the might as well, rights. You might as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's like saying...
It is the next logical step.
What is logic, though? The next logical step in the
what
illogical
is logic?
Motion.
Baby, don't hurt me.
Oh, wow.
Baby, don't... Okay. Sorry. It didn't roll with it, I know.
It was a really bad one.
It was really bad one. I know. Oh, well, this is going to move us into our next story. And this story...
Thinking of really bad ones.
This is a really bad one, and I'm going to have to take the reins on this a little bit because I don't need it to be taken slightly out of context, or not out of context. There's so many ways that this particular story can go, and it has severely chapped my tail. However, the way I want to go about it, I'm not going to go. I'm going to take it a slightly different way, and we're going to link it with the whole Saudi Arabia being elected into the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. There is a doctor in Mississippi. Mm-hmm. Dr. Willie Parker believes he's doing the Lord's work when he kills unborn babies in the womb with his own, quote, capable hands, end quote. Now, the reason I'm bringing this in is not to point out the absurdity of
his religious claim?
Of the religious claim, because God knows I want to. I want to completely destroy him and the whole notion of abortion and da-da-da-da. However, a lot of people kind of poo-poo that. And for all, nobody wants to think of abortion in that way. So we're not even going to go touching on that at all. What we are going to bring about, however, is just the sheer stupidity of all of this. Okay, Mr. Parker basically in the end believes that he's doing a service, that it is completely okay to do abortions and to have Planned Parenthood behind him, blah 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 blah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm trying to stay on topic here. It doesn't make sense. Here in America, we're so worried about a woman's right for the abortion. In America, this guy is allowed to perform what he claims is a ministry for Christ. And again, I'm throwing that as to be about as tongue-in-cheek as I could possibly be, because it's completely absurd. However, here in America, he's allowed to do this. The whole point, quote unquote, of the UN and the Council on Women's Status and blah, 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 is because we're supposed to be building this whole thing towards equality.
Yeah.
Okay? It's supposed to be equality. Everyone's supposed to be equal. It's not supposed to be unfair. Blah, 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 blah. You're going to turn around and they put Saudi Arabia in, who, as we made clear before, they have to have a male guardian when they leave their house. You know what I mean? They have to. Yeah. In Saudi Arabia, the woman is virtually controlled from the minute she's born till the moment she dies.
Right.
This is what Saudi Arabia does.
Yes.
And yet, it doesn't. I'm sorry. It just blows my mind, the complete stupidity of. Well, here we are. We always push for equality. And then go back. Let's go back to the last hour when we had, or the last segment when we had, talk about Bill Nye. All the sexuality is a spectrum and gender is a spectrum and you can be whatever you want to be and blah 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 blah. And we want to completely forget everything that makes sense. We want to forget everything that's actually real. And we want to go into this stupidity where this guy is able to have his abortions, do everything like he does, all in the name of equality and a woman's right to choose. And yet, Saudi Arabia can treat their women like they do. Saudi Arabia can be part of the women's the Commission of Status of Women. Mm-hmm. And I don't get it. I don't.
But the doctor's pro-life.
Oh, sure.
Pro-life of the woman.
Sure. And and that's fine. It's, again, I'm choosing to stay away from the depth of all that because, again, it's going to, it upsets a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I understand that. But still, y'all, I don't understand. There's no consistency. There's no intellectual consistency whatsoever. And it just...
Well, there's a little bit of consistency. There's a little bit because you're consistent in the inconsistencies. Think about how their logic works. Their logic works very, very simply. Anything that is not what they want, they go against.
Yeah.
Anything that is what they do want, it doesn't matter what it is. Anything that they want, hey, we want to be friends with Saudi Arabia. Okay, well, let's put them on the Human Rights Council. That'll make them feel better, right? Yeah, okay, that's great. That's going to be awesome. Let's put them on there. Okay, and this guy over here, he has the right to say whatever he wants. This guy over here, he's just going to be, I'm pro-life. I'm pro-life of the woman that I'm killing her baby for. Anyway, let's get past that. Anyway, back out. We're just gonna end it. We're gonna end it. You're gonna end it. Sorry.
You're good. Folks, we're gonna go take a break because this went down dark and quick. We'll be back in a little bit listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Round Turns Radio Network.
You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. My name is Dylan, and I'm joined tonight by Steven Airey.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Good times. You having fun, bud?
I am. I'm having a good time.
You know, this is first time doing all this stuff. I have to kind of ask.
It's okay.
It's like, hey, do you like it? Yes, no. And the best part is you always ask it on the air because no one's going to turn around in the middle of the air being on air and go, no, this sucks.
This is terrible. You suck.
Yeah.
Everything's horrible, but you know what?
My hands are all sweaty.
Oh
no.
My goodness, I'm all sweaty and nervous. I really don't know what to do.
No.
It's not there. You know what is terrible, though?
Well, what's terrible?
This next story.
Oh, God. It is. This is...
Think about this, folks. All right, so Tucker Carlson, he had an interview with, what is it, Yvette Falarka.
Falarka. Doesn't that sound like a Middle Eastern dish?
Falarka?
Falarka.
It's like falafels.
Yeah, it's like a falafel, but it's
not
burnt.
Yeah.
Falafel is not baked, and the falafel is. Falarka is.
I don't know how to go there, but all right.
Doesn't it? Falarka has nuts, and falafel's just plain.
Yeah, and sometimes
maybe that's what
like
it is.
A nut, and sometimes you don't. Falarka does have nuts. Falafels don't. That's bad. That is horrible.
Thank God we know this woman doesn't listen to us because we'd be in so much trouble right now.
I know. Oh goodness, but all right.
She is a delightful individual.
Yeah, delightful, wonderful person, I'm sure, in person. But Tucker is doing this interview, and he starts it off talking with her and going over. He did a full-on video clip of the latest things that have been going on that she's been involved in, and I tell you what, those things are wonderful. Wonderful. They sound great, but he goes through and he's asking the questions, and she's made a couple statements specifically about Milo Yiannopoulos. I can't remember how to say his name.
I don't either. I just assume
we'll say Yiannopoulos. How about that?
Sure.
Okay. So she said many things about Milo and about trying to shut him down, and she's very proud of the fact that she was able to be part of the team that shut him out of, what was it, Berkeley? Is that right? Berkeley, yeah. And so Tucker's going through this, and he's going through all this intro, and he asks the question, what is a fascist?
I don't know. What is a fascist? Oh, wait. Oh, that's my cue.
Yeah,
Sorry, that's my cue.
Wait, we'll edit that out. All right, stop,
hold on.
stop, cut.
Ready?
1, 2,
okay.
3. And he asks, what is a fascist?
So a fascist is someone who's organizing a mass movement that's attacking women, immigrants, black people, other minority groups in a movement of genocide. That's what a fascist is.
Absolutely not.
Fail.
That is a complete fail. Let's go to... Let's Google this.
Google.
All right. From the big...
I wish I had some music to intro it in like a game show. That would have been great. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
From Wikipedia.
Which, you could take that for what it's worth. I mean, we know it's Wikipedia.
It's Wikipedia, but their editing's doing okay. But they actually just do a basic overview of what it is. So fascism is a form of radical authoritarian nationalism characterized by dictatorial power, forcible suppression of opposition, and control of industry and commerce. That came to the prominence in the early 20s.
So it's not something bad against minorities and other genders.
I mean, technically, it could be. It could be, but I'm
so
really
she gave a half truth.
Yeah,
she's a half truth.
And what I really want to focus on here is the forcible suppression of opposition.
You mean the whole, let's get into fights and keep people from exercising the First Amendment right?
Right. Like, the whole thing with Berkeley, how they're beating people in the streets until the cops have to pull them off of them. Yeah, she was part of that.
Nice lady.
Yeah.
Think she'll come over for Christmas?
I don't know. I don't want her to.
Everybody needs Jesus in the holidays.
Yeah, but that Christmas isn't about Jesus anymore.
I know. It ain't even about Santa Claus anymore. If you look at it, it ain't even about Santa Claus anymore.
Yeah, well, it isn't about anything.
Yeah, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, let's go off topic. Anyway, but let's get back a little bit more to the audio here.
Okay. So it's someone who's committing violence?
And it's someone who's committing violence and who's trying to organize other people to commit violence.
Okay.
And Milo Yiannopoulos is a fascist.
Okay. So he's committed acts of violence against the protected groups you mentioned?
Well, what he's doing is he's trying to be the youth face and the token that other people who are organizing violence try to hide behind.
All right, go stop there. This woman who has conducted organizations to forcibly suppress her opposition is saying that the reason why Milo is a fascist is because he forcibly suppressed the opposition?
No, it can't be that.
But he didn't. Okay, stop there. I am not a fan of Milo.
No, I'm not either. He gets on my nerves.
He's a
because
hothead.
I don't. It's not even look. And the problem with and this has happened ever since Trump got elected, and this is what's bothered me is people have gotten to this point where they feel it is okay to, I don't know, to rub it in their face. That's really what it boils down to, is if people are okay with rubbing this in their face. And you don't win that way.
It's, I won and you didn't.
Neener. That's what they're doing.
That's not
and
how this works anymore.
And
you can't do that. You can't be that guy.
You can't expect everything to work. And yet
They expect it to work. And I mean, all right, so what has Milo done? Well, if you listen to her, he's done nothing.
Yeah.
He is what people want to use as the face of their movement.
Yeah.
So you stop Milo because people want to use his image to do violence?
Well, but it's also an assumption.
Right. It's a complete assumption.
It's an assumption. It's a, well, these people might do this in your name, and it's all because I disagree with what you say.
Okay.
And that's almost like that literally is, and it's a a far stretch, but it's the same thing as like that movie, what is it, Minority Report, where
right?
People were getting arrested for
future crimes
that they didn't commit.
Yeah. You
can't do that.
Right.
But that's exactly what this lady's doing.
Yeah, she's placing blame on somebody that has not done anything. Yes, he has voiced his opinion. And you know what? Some of those opinions are terribly authoritarian. They're terrible for our country, but so are hers.
Oh, yeah.
She's done the same wrong. She just believes in a different cause.
No, I agree. And I don't know. This lady is something else.
Oh yeah, she goes on to try and explain it out, and I just you know what? I'd rather us not go through the entire clip of it. It's not worth our time, honestly. But she goes through. She tries to explain it all. She tries to go through and say, what is Milo? What we have to do. She says in there that we have to nip it in the bud. Nip what in the bud? Well, we have to nip this fascism in the bud. We have to stop it where it is. We have to stop it before it gets there. We have to go through and get these people's voice out of our colleges, because these people, when they come to our colleges, to recruit. They don't come just to share their voice and share their expression. They come to recruit. Okay. Isn't that the exact same thing, but on the opposite side every time. So what are you saying? Are you saying that nobody should ever go to a college and talk politics?
That makes too much sense. I mean,
but even then, you're eliminating free speech from a college campus.
well, that's what I was gonna. It's about winners and losers. Then it's no longer about. It's not about the principle. It's not about the. It's not about making the country actually better. It's about I want to win.
It's no
I
longer
want you to
debate.
lose.
It's no longer debate. It's just I'm right, you're wrong. Sit down and let me do my thing, which is also authoritarian. Now, what are we based off of? We're based off of freedom of speech. We're based off of people have the right to voice their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And if you believe that, if you actually believe that people have the right to voice it, then you have no right to stop them.
Yeah.
As long as they're not creating violence themselves, and as long as what they're doing is not harmful to anybody.
Yeah, but that was the whole point of defending. That's what the whole point of all the amendments and everything was in the first place.
Right.
Because it's easy to defend against music. Sorry, I'm messing with the board here. My brain went somewhere. There was a Freudian slip.
Womp womp.
But no, it's easy to defend something that you agree with.
Yeah.
It is really hard. I mean, it is really hard to back up things that you don't agree with.
Now, here's the thing. So if she, instead of doing this, if she said what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a speaker right after Milo, and we're going to get him, and whatever speaker or her, whatever speaker that we're going to get them right after Milo so that we can talk the counterpoints to whatever Milo brings up. And, if Milo wants to stay, they can have a debate after that, and everybody would win. But why would they want that? They just want their voice only. But that's not being logical. That's being in control. They want their thought process only, and that's useless.
It's all about the win.
Right.
It's all about the win.
All about the win.
It's not how it works, people.
All about
it's
the
not even how it works. Well, that was all fun and depressing. It was. It sucks. It makes. I'm sorry, but Bill Nye, the engineer guy, trying to spread in the end. I mean, between shows and using nostalgia to spread propaganda to convince people that
using a platform like Netflix.
Yeah, to try and spread propaganda. That was a toilet moment. And then, you go into the whole Saudi Arabia trying to being a part of the Women's Council for the UN.
They're not trying.
Yeah, well, yeah, they
were given.
They got their seat. They got the little green coat, and they get the they now get to have the Jello and stuff with.
Is this golf? They get green coats.
I had a moment. I don't know where I got the green coat from.
I get the green jacket.
I was thinking of Tiger Woods playing golf. I guess I don't know, but
Tiger Woods represents the UN.
That was racist. He would, because isn't he he's like half white, half black, half Asian,
so
half something. Yeah, he's like everybody. No, it covers every.
He's good.
Tiger covers all the demographics,
except for woman.
Except for we don't know that. We don't
know.
We don't have a right to claim either way.
True. We don't know. We haven't asked him.
Well, all those wonderful uplifting stories. We're going to end on a what I deem is to be the funniest story I have read in a long, long time, and it makes me giggle. And most people out there are probably upset and say, "Dylan, how can you be like this? It's so horrible." I don't care. Again, you can reach me at Defenders of American Exceptionalism on Facebook, Dylan Lyles, the real Dylan Lyles on Facebook. I don't care. Drop me a line. Tell me how much of a jerk I am. Don't care.
It's okay.
This made me giggle. Okay?
I tell him all the time.
He does, and I don't listen to him either. This story coming from the Huffington Post. The Puffington Post. That's the only funny thing that Rush ever said that makes me giggle. I don't know why, but it does.
Hufflepuff.
So, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, also known as PETA.
People eating tasty animals?
Yeah, no, that's the group I'm attached to. The original PETA won't let me in.
Oh.
because I wear leather shoes.
And like bacon.
Bacon. They're claiming that a polar bear has died of, quote, heartbreak after being separated from a close companion of over 20 years. Now, I can stop there, and you can say, Dylan, how dare you? You laugh at this story. How dare you? It does happen. Humans have been known for stories constantly where, and my own grandmother is a perfect example of this. When my uncle passed away, she started losing the will to live. My grandfather passed first. She kind of lost a little bit of the will, but she, stuck it out. And then once her only son, my uncle, died, she lost it altogether, and she literally gave up on trying to live. Not that she went and killed herself, but just, you just lose that will.
Right. It's just, it'll happen when it happens.
And it does, and it happens. You just kind of say, all right, I'm done. It's time to go home.
Right.
So that happens. It happens to people all the time. You lose a partner for so long, you just give up. It happens. Well, normally I would agree with you and say yes. What makes this funny, though, is that the organization is claiming that the companion that this bear, Xenia, I believe is the name of said bear, it's her same-sex partner.
How dare they claim sex, gender, identity on a polar bear?
I know. Did the polar bear tell him that she was a she?
I don't know. I don't speak polar bear.
I don't either. But maybe, this is SeaWorld, according to Yahoo News.
Woohoo!
Split apart. Longtime companions Xenia and Snowflake, which I find slightly ironic, and I don't know why. In order for the latter polar bear to breed in Pittsburgh.
Right. Where it's actually colder.
Weird, right? So, but since, soon after the transfer, Xenia died unexpectedly.
Right.
And PETA is now blaming the death on the company's decision to separate the pair. Quote, Xenia died of a broken heart, PETA believes, said Tracy Remain, the executive vice president of PETA.
How can you mend a broken heart?
Oh, God. I suddenly feel like I need to hear Journey now, and I don't know why. After losing her companion of 20 years when SeaWorld shipped Snowflake to Pittsburgh Zoo in order to breed more miserable polar bears, Xenia did what anyone would do when they lose all hope. She gave up. End quote.
That's really dramatic.
Oh, my God. I wonder if, she had somebody playing a violin behind her. That's what I'm wondering, man. I wish I had some to make it. This would have been so much greater.
I should have done that.
And this is what gets... Okay, here's where you get... This is coming from... the next statement comes from Dan Matthews, PETA's senior vice president, who echoed exactly what Remain's words were, highlighting the fact that same-sex relationships in the animal kingdom are not a unique phenomenon. Okay? Here's where it gets funny to me.
Yeah.
Quote, homosexuality has been observed in more than 500 species from polar bears to chickens. This shows that it's not just how natural it is to be gay, but also what we have in common with all animals.
Wait. Can I stop you there for a second? For a second. Did any of those animals produce?
Oh, you mean children? No.
Right.
No, none.
No, okay.
No, none. There's more of this asininity this guy has, but the long of the short is this guy turns around and is trying to say how natural it is and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to argue and say that it's not that we share with them. It actually what it is animal instinct where you just don't differentiate, you just react. And supposedly that is one of the things that separates us from the animal kingdom. That's what makes
just react.
We don't just react. We use logic, we use thought, and we come to conclusions. We don't just do.
Right.
Fail. Mr. Dan Matthews.
Major fail.
Major fail.
Is he a brother to Dave Matthews?
I hope not.
Oh.
That wouldn't surprise me, but I hope not. Folks, we are going to wrap it up. It is so good to be back behind the mic again. You can reach us at Defenders of American Exceptionalism on Facebook, DOAE Show on Twitter, Dylan Lyles on Facebook, Steven
Airey, Facebook, Twitter. You can find me there. It's pretty easy. Airey.
Good times, man. Good times. Appreciate you joining me tonight. Folks, we will see y'all next week